And we're live! Hey friends, it's Ernie with the Trader of Futures. And it is the first day of 2019. And today, or tonight, I wanted to get a stream on before the end of the day. And it is kind of late, I know. As they would say, the 11th hour. It is literally the 11th hour. There I can correctly use the word literal. It is now 11:30 here on the East Coast. But I am here. I'm here to talk about the embodiment. Those are our artificial intelligence alert setups. Now, notice I don't say trades or trade alerts. Oh, I don't know.
Market data connection lost.
That's my computer talking to me. The point is that they are more akin to scenarios than actual alerts. The system is kind of forward-looking, and it sees patterns, and it sees patterns developing. And so what we're looking for in the system are development of patterns that have proven in the past, at least similar patterns have proven in the past to have a high degree of moving one way or another. And we look at the extent of that move and the number of times it did it, how close that this particular pattern that's setting up is similar to past patterns. And we go back 20 years or so. Anyways, the whole point of this is that I wanted to show you the first trades that we've put out for the very first day of the year. I'll do this occasionally. I may do this, I don't know, maybe once a month or so, and put them out there. There was a time back in the beginning of last year where I did that, and we didn't have the service, but I did that every day for months and months. And we showed, well, a little bit better than a 90% win rate. Now, not all the trades triggered, not all the scenarios triggered. You know, it's just a forward-looking thing, and if they trigger, then that's when it all sets up and we get that kind of high probability. And so what I'm going to show you are setups, and not all of them, maybe none of them will actually trigger, but some of them, on average, about 30% of them do. And of those 30% that trigger, at least since the trade room has been open, we've shown better than a 90% profitability. That's pretty remarkable. And about 70% of them have actually achieved or met the expected target or exceeded it. So that's also very remarkable. And although in our system itself, the parameters that we've set, we're looking for 80% or better. So I have to think that at some point we're going to get a regression to the mean, and maybe it will be a little bit less than 80% at some point. But so far it's been going for, well, 3 months, and it's hit 90% profitability. So that's cool. And what it's resulted in the room, now the service comes with a live trade room, and there's myself and my partner. My partner's in there most of the time and providing support to all our members. Currently, we are just below 70 members. So we've been averaging, so for 3 months we've been averaging about, I guess, 25 or 24 members that we've been adding every month. And we hope to do that up until about maybe, oh, I don't know, 250, 300 members. I think that is about the limit on what we can handle. And we're not looking to make this anything much bigger than that. That's where we want to be. We want to be around 250, 300 people. We think that we can provide a very high level degree of support and a high quality service at that. And also lead the kind of lives that we lead, and it fits very nicely into other businesses that we have. So that is the overall plan for the embodiment. Well, that's not the overall. I mean, we are also marketing this to other concerns, fund managers and others. And so that is the overall plan. So we just got another member in. So that now we're at 69. So one more, and we will have 70. All right. So let's get on to the trades. Well, let's see. First of all, we have the chat. Maximus, he's been asking me some questions on my previous video. He says, on your site, you explain that the AI win rate is roughly 85%. I presume that is all the alerts summed up so far, correct? If I sign up and just pick a trade here and there, the win rate is lower? Well, first of all, the risk strategy, you know, I don't know about cherry-picking trades, but the risk strategy that we use is based on taking all the trades. And the reason for that is that there is a underlying philosophy of multiple non-correlated strategies providing a level of risk mitigation there. So that's something that we would do. I wouldn't recommend just cherry-picking, what amounts to cherry-picking your favorite trades. That wouldn't make any sense. But if you look at all the trades, on average, yeah, they're 90% probability. So I guess you could, in fact, cherry pick them and still achieve the same win rate as long as you've traded enough trades, you know, the law of big numbers. And so, no, the win rate wouldn't be significantly lower. I don't see how it would change at all. The only difference is that you may have a little bit more volatility in the returns. So that's the only thing. The system is designed, like I said, to produce non-correlated setups every time. Every new trade is, in fact, a kind of a unique trade that the AI has found. And our underlying or our overarching philosophy that provides the great deal of our risk management is that by having multiple strategies that aren't correlated with one another, this has a tendency to mitigate risk and give you a very smooth equity curve, one that doesn't have a whole lot of volatility in it. And that's something that a lot of people feel comfortable with. Plus, it relieves you of the burden of trying to set risk parameters for every trade. And so, in fact, we don't set stops for each individual trade. I mean, you can. It depends on the size of your account, the position sizing that you choose, and things like that. What we do is we have a time-based stop on all the trades of 4 days, and we have what we call a portfolio stop. So there is, in fact, a stop on all the trades, but it's not on any specific trade. It is the combination of all the trades and whether or not it draws down beyond your capacity for risk or your tolerance for risk. So that's the way it works. So we don't actually put a stop on any one, because you could have one trade that is drawn down a lot, and you could have two other trades that are on at the same time that are making money. And so when you combine them all, you know, you may have a small drawdown, or maybe even no drawdown, maybe even a profit. So that is key. And the reason why we do that is that one that maybe drew down a lot and maybe brought some of the overall profitability down, if you give it enough time, that 4 days, quite often we find that it turns around and then reaches the target anyways. And I think this is one of the problems that most people have in trading in general. How many trades on average do we need to make in a week? Well, I mean, today we put out about 8 different alerts. We'll put out anywhere from 0 to 10 alerts. Usually on average it's about 4 or 5, and about 30% of them actually trigger, or in other words, the objective of the trade, the entry, had been reached. So about 35% of them, so about a third. And on average, I'd say we put out, like I said, on average maybe 5, so that'd be 25 a week, and a third of those. So you got to think about 8 or to 10 trades a week. something like that. And each one is like a swing trade, so it's I guess the average time in the trade is about 2 days, maybe 3 days, never more than 4, sometimes out the same day, but that's, I'd say that happens about 30-40% of the time, out the same day or the next day. That's what we've been seeing. So anyways, let me show you. Let me get the OBS up here so that I can see what I'm doing here. This deal is for tonight only. This is it, and then tomorrow the training price goes up. I am starting a marketing program, and that should be in place in about a week. And when I do that, all the prices are going up. So if you want to get in now, you can get grandfathered in at these prices forever, but the prices are going up significantly. And I really do mean significantly, because the demand is there. We have the requisite number of people that we need for a sustainable business, and now we're going to start going to the next level and start pushing. So our next push will be for another 75 or 100 people, but that's all going to be at the higher price. So if you want to get in at these low prices, tonight is the night, and then that's it. All right, that's that. So let's take down that message, and then this message, and then let's I'm going to bring over what the alerts look like, are actually tonight's alerts. So here's tonight's alerts. The alerts, they come out right after the market opens. So right now we're talking about the Forex and the futures market, and the Forex market I think opens at 8, and the futures market opens at 6, and so that's when we're able to then ask the AI, the embodiment, or actually query the AI, I should say. I guess ask and query are the same. And that's when we extract the information. It does its pattern recognition, and we find what trades have the highest probability, and then we filter them out, and then we deliver them to everybody in an email, and that's what you're seeing here. This went out probably a little later than normal. This one went out at 9:10. 9:44. But you can see they're both futures and Forex. We will be adding equities soon, but that's taking some time because we need to automate this process. The process of extracting the equities trades is a little bit more complex. Well, it's actually a lot more complex. And so we need to automate that so we can make it easier and then include those in there as well. So then we'll actually have more trades. So all the symbols, they're in, all the future symbols are in TradeStation format. We provide a spreadsheet that provides a cross-reference so that you can take because the symbol names, the actual symbol characters may be a little different from TradeStation compared to Thinkorswim or Interactive Broker, and so we provide a spreadsheet that gives a cross-reference. But anyways, this first one is the Aussie dollar, and that's a buy signal if it comes down to an entry of 0.7008, and then the exit is the expected move, and that's typically about a 1 standard deviation move. Oil, we're expecting there to be a breakout, or at least if it reaches this level, then the embodiment is expecting it to break out at 46.54. The euro, to come up to the level of 1.1581, and then we would sell it. This is the S&P 400, the mid cap. So where the S&P 500 would be ES, this is EMD, the mid cap, the S&P 400. We're expecting it to come down to 16.25 and some change, and there would be a buy. Here's a Forex, Euro Japanese Yen, coming down to 125.1569. Swiss franc, we're expecting it to come down to 1.0188. The Japanese yen in terms of dollar, the USD Japanese yen, or the dollar in terms of Japanese yen, we're expecting it to go up and then sell at 110.29, and the Mexican peso to sell it at $19.79. So those are all the setups. You're welcome to. Now these are only good until the close of the session tomorrow. If they do not trigger by tomorrow, then we discard them. If they do trigger and the entry is reached and we get into the trade, then we give it up to 4 more trading sessions to achieve its expected move. Those are the rules. That's what the AI is looking for. All right, and so I have Thinkorswim here, and I've kind of set up. I've in cyan, those are the entries, and magenta is the expected move. Actually, this one needs. I haven't colored this one in yet. So we have the Aussie dollar here, oil, the euro down below here. Let's see. Where's the line for the euro? I didn't put it in there yet. And the S&P 400 mid cap. It looks like it's coming down, hopefully, to meet that. Now, oil, we're expecting it to break out, to come up and go through this line. The Aussie dollar, it's almost come down. I mean, that's pretty close. I mean, in some circumstances, we may have taken that trade. But actually, this is for the next session, right? So the next session, that's a little confusing here. Well, they have the time, but they don't have the session. What I should do is I should put in the session line. So you can see the session. I need my glasses for this. Appearance. Probably the time axis, right? Futures. I thought they had. I'm looking for the session lines. I think they're in here. Show trade symbol, extended alert lines, last bubble. Let's see, price axis. It's not there. Maybe time axis. That's where I thought it would be. Show rollover lines, show expiration Friday. No, that's not what I want. Here in the equities it shows extended hours. Highlight extended trading session. I guess you can't show the session lines. Well, with futures we know that it's 6 o'clock. Huh, wonder if... No, I don't want that. Well, I guess they don't have the session lines in here. But the session would be, for futures, 6 o'clock. Well, I guess that would be right there. So anyways, it's almost come right down to that entry. I mean, one could make an argument that that's pretty close, because everything is in a statistical terms. So when you compare it to the overall expected move, I mean, one might think that you could have gotten into that. But if you were setting these up with limit orders, obviously it wouldn't have triggered. Oh, I think we've got... Yep, we have 2 new people. So we hit 70. We have hit 70 people. Let's see. It's right there. Business. 2 new people. So we are now at 70. Ernie is simply missing the boat on crypto. Out of ignorance. Yeah, I guess so. I am ignorant. It's not going anywhere. I don't know why you're worried about it. Yeah, I know. Casper is a troll, but I guess that's what he lives for. Thoughts on if oil will fall below 40? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think that it's going to stay low. Below 50, probably below where it is. I don't expect it to go too much higher than it is now, although we're saying that it's going to break out and go as high as 47.20. So that's what we're looking for. That's not a huge move, though, especially from where it's coming from. But that's what, it's still a good move. I mean, it's 80 cents, 70 cents. So we're expecting a 70-cent move if it were to break this level right here. Gabrielle Garza is asking to upgrade from monthly to an annual at the low price, assuming we are grandfathered into low price at this point. Yeah. So if you are in at the monthly price and you wanted to go to quarterly or yearly, anybody that signed up before tonight, they can do that. And I'm only extending that out there because I have done it for some other people before, so like they joined and then I had a special and it dropped the price down, or I added a yearly subscription. They said, well, I really like the subscription. Can I change it? And I said, yeah. And so I did it for them, so I'm going to have to do it for everybody else for this price. Going forward, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to think. So anybody that is in now gets grandfathered at these low prices.
Connection lost.
Anybody that's in now that gets in now. Oh, shut up! That gets in now gets grandfathered in at all the prices, and you have either. But I don't want people going from monthly to yearly to monthly. That's out. Once you make the move, that's it. Only because it's hard to keep track of everybody. Well, Casper, you're a troll because you just keep on talking about crypto. I mean, it's like incessant. It's just... You know, that you are the definition of a troll, for sure. Alex Z. So I'm going to, you know, I'm just going to kind of ignore you until you have something useful to say. So Alex saying, for one monthly subscription, it is automatically withdrawing each month. Yeah, because you sign up with your credit card, and it automatically draws from that. I mean, you can quit at any time. If you quit, now I've had some people that say, look, I got to stop because I'm going on vacation. Can I hold my my subscription and then pick it up again? I would allow people to suspend their subscription and then come back if it were just a 1 month thing. But once you quit and you're out, then you're subject to whatever the new price is. The S&P up or down this week? Well, so far it's down. I just made 2 trades on both the Dow and the S&P 500. 2 nice short trades. Right here when it broke this little pattern that I had sketched out right there. I took that short, and I also took it up here on the Dow. So I caught that little drop there and there. But we were up for a bit earlier today, but now we're down. So it looks like, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the Euro Open. So here's the upper left is the Mexican peso. That's one of the other trades. It needs to come all the way up to here. You might look at that and say, man, there's no chance for it to come up there. But man, you should see. Sometimes the embodiment calls these trades, and damn if it doesn't come all the way up and hit that line and then reverse. It's uncanny. And then of course we have the dollar yen. Needs to come up to this level for a short. Oh, you can't see it because my head's in the way. The dollar yen needs to come up. These 2 lower left charts, what I'm showing is arbitrage between, well, this one in the middle is the crack spread. And we had a trade like that on the other day, and that made really good money. We were long oil and short heating oil. And the one on the left is the arbitrage between the Dow and the S&P. And so I play that. The Dow has been outperforming the S&P and also mid-caps for a long time. So if I were to put this on a daily, you could see that very clearly. Let's get rid of this. So we can see clearly that the Dow versus the S&P, the Dow has been dominant because it's been going up. Right? And that's been since the summertime. Well, all the way back to July. The Dow has totally dominated smaller caps. So that's been a good trade too, you know. Anytime it pulls back like this and you get a chance to go long the Dow and short the S&P, it's a darn good trade. Has been for, well, since July. 5 months. None of those trades worked out. What are you talking about? We have all until tomorrow for them to all trigger. And like I said, on average, about 30% of them will trigger.
Market data connection lost.
There's no hope for the stock markets. It's going down.
Reestablished.
I gotta turn that sucker off. How do I turn the voice off? Configure. No. Where is that damn voice coming from? It's not there.
Market data connection lost. Market data connection reestablished.
Where is the voice? Turn the friggin' voice off. I don't like the interactive broker trading platform. It's called Trader Workstation. News, fundamentals, chart, technicals.
Market data connection lost.
Settings, save settings, settings recovery.
Market data connection reestablished.
Man, you are a pain in the ass. Global configuration. Maybe it's in there. Features. Information tools. Is it there?
Market data connection lost.
Sound manager. Oh, here it is. Profile, voice, non-voice. Oh, it'll just do a bell. What if I don't want it at all?
Market data connection reestablished.
I don't care about the trading connection. I'm going to turn that off. Trading connection lost. Market data lost. I don't give a shit about that. All right. I turned off all that stuff. There. I'll apply it. I found it. Oh. I know you're, okay, all I says, to be honest, Rene, I was always interested in your take on the crypto markets. If I'm being honest, you always gave a different perspective that was appreciated. Are you still against it total? I'm not against crypto. As a matter of fact, I think I've, I think I've gone through this position many times. I think that in the future, there is a future for cryptos, cryptocurrencies, and distributed ledgers. But that future isn't here yet. So I guess you can say I am against it now. It's really more of an analysis that I don't think that it is a viable technology right now in today's market, today's culture, today's enterprise environment, today's monetary system. It doesn't solve the enough problems, and it's not compelling enough, and it is too difficult for most people to use for it to be viable right now. That may be completely different in a year from now or 2 years from now. Display Z says, I see a small tolerance of maybe plus or minus 2% on your trades, right? That's why only 30% trigger? No. I don't know what you mean by a tolerance. But, you know, sometimes they all trigger. I'm just saying on average, about 30% of them trigger. That's because the setup that is high probability usually involves an extreme move. And, you know, we're waiting for that extreme move. And if it happens, then the setup has that high probability of working. Javed Ahmed says, you were always against crypto, stating no intrinsic value. No. There are, yes. No, yes. There were times I've done videos where I've tried to ascertain the intrinsic value. But I have, I've actually looked at what some people consider the intrinsic value, equating that with the network effect, and I think I've debunked that. What do you say about stock market, which has intrinsic value but is still falling? This is kind of a moot point, and I don't understand why we even talk about it, to tell you the truth. It has value to somebody. Somebody's willing to pay money for it. They think that it's worth something, and other people think it's not worth something, and then they trade back and forth. All right? So, fuck. You know, something has intrinsic value if it has another use, if it can actually generate money, or if it has another use, like an industrial use or something. But crypto has no other use. It is strictly a speculative type of thing. Some people will argue that it opens markets up, or it allows trustless or defeats censorship. You know, is that intrinsic? I don't know. And I think it's a bullshit thing to even argue about. Fundamentals don't move emerging markets. How can anybody make statements like that? That is just totally wrong. It's speculation and sentiment first. Well, it's always speculation. It's always sentiment, not speculation. It's always sentiment. But sentiment is a fleeting thing. Fundamentals are more of an underlying moving thing. And I don't know why we talk about that either. Who cares? I mean, these are all just well-known things, and it's not going to help you trade, you know, to argue these points. Deviation. So we're always looking for, you know, a one standard deviation or better. You know, a one standard deviation gives you about a 70% of the case, right? 70% of the data points. Anything beyond that is considered, you know, something that is more of an outlier. Some people might not consider an outlier until you get beyond 3 standard deviations. True Grit says, right now, crypto sucks. Give it time to fall more. I agree with that, 1,000%. The stock market has intrinsic value, but it's currently overvalued. Well, again, it's the word intrinsic that people get stuck on. Intrinsic, I mean, everything has value, but intrinsic implies that it has some other use. Like gold and platinum and silver have other uses other than money. They have industrial use, jewelry use, you know. So they have other intrinsic value with them. I think that's what's meant by intrinsic value. So anyways, there are the setups. We're waiting for them to happen. This Euro-Japanese yen looks like it came pretty darn close. May still get there. Actually, it looks like that may have just triggered. And I missed it while I was talking to you guys. Yeah, I just was in the room and they said, did you take the Euro-Japanese position? It looks like that one did trigger. So, I'm not in this, but I'm gonna probably get in it. What is the expected move on that? The expected move is 126.04. Oh, so that's a damn big move. Oh yeah, there it is, way up there. So I'm going to get in that. We are going to get in that trade right now. That is the Euro, Japanese yen. And it's currently at 125.26. See if we can get in that trade. So I put a bid in at 125 and 0.272. Let's see where the spread is. It's got a fairly big spread on it, I think. Yeah, the buy now is at 28. So I'd have to come up a little ways in order to... let's try that.
Order filled.
There we go. All right, we're in that trade. Not the greatest spot, but it did trigger. I missed it because I was talking to you guys or doing other things. Other people in the room did get into it just when it bottomed out here. So we're looking for this to come up above 126. That's this lower left trade right here. So we're in that trade right now. Here's my order book or my book trader. Let's go back and see where Bitcoin is. I know that it's been having some problems. Yeah, it's going to stay inside this big gray zone that I've drawn. It's gone up about 100 points over the past few hours or whatever. Yeah, it's going nowhere. It's boring. Bitcoin is boring. Just fucking boring. That's what it comes down to. It is boring. See, all eyes. Happy New Year. You really think that the fundamentals caused the crypto bull run of 2017? No, I know what caused it. The whales and the miners and and everybody else, including the exchanges, used the futures, the news of the futures, to run this market up, with the hope that institutional money would come in, and then they shorted the futures. They played everyone, and I called it. I called the day that it would turn around. As the sign-up expired, I would say, it depends on where you are. I mean, you can make an argument that you're on the West Coast, and so, no. I'm probably not going to change it until tomorrow morning, so... No, you can sign up. I haven't changed anything. Yeah, so tomorrow morning I'm going to take the page down. You got to give people that are, I guess, all the way out to Hawaii, which is 6 hours different than me. Yeah, I'll bring it up. I'll show you that it's all still up here. There it is. Happy New Year's Day. Prices go up tomorrow. Oh, we got more people. We're over 70 now. All right. This has been wonderful. Got a lot of support. So let's go back to that trade. Where was it? Well, it's going up. It's positive. We're talking about this one in the lower left. I didn't get the best price, but it has such a long ways to go that it only made sense to get into it now. And we are profitable. So this is the first trade of the new year for the crypto service. It is in profit. Hopefully some of these others will trigger by end of session tomorrow. We have all of these here. The S&P 400, oil, Aussie dollar, euro, the Forex pair, euro, Japanese yen, the futures Swiss franc, and what else do we have? The USD Japanese yen, US dollar Japanese yen, and the US dollar Mexican peso. That Mexican peso really has to get a move on. It's going to go way, way up there. It's going to go way up there. I was just looking at the. Here's the room. You can see it's live now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 people in the room right now. I'd say on average, well, it says 15 people in the room. Check your spam folder. I don't know why it goes into spam, but some... It seems like Apple Mail does that a lot, that if you get 2 mails from the same source within like a half hour or an hour or the same day, it'll throw one of them into the spam folder. There must be a way to control that. The chat, I'm in the chat most of the time, Frank, but my partner is in almost all the time. Not 24 hours a day, obviously, but all day. Yeah, we now have 71 grandfathers. That's right. Thank you, Weldopedia. Very punny. Oh, Alec just bought the subscription. Awesome. It's going to take me about, after I get off of this stream, I'll have you set up in about half an hour after I get off the stream. But thank you very much, Alex. Ah. Alexander. I like the way you spell your name. Auto. I'm doing group maintenance. Sorry about that. I just had one person at PayPal showed that they were canceled, and then that they had paid for a half year at the same time. So I just had to try to resolve that. You get these weird situations happening all the time in online biz. All right. So I got to fix that. So originally, Casper, I said accumulate below 4,000, and then I changed it to below 2,500. And I'm still sticking to that. I'm not willing to accumulate until it gets down below 2,500. I believe that it will. Okay. All right. So the trade I took earlier is really taking off now. There it is, lower left, starting to move. It's moving. It's on the move. So first trade of the year looks like, well, it's already in profit. I may put a stop right above the entry point to guarantee a winner. All right, so that's it for this stream. I wanted to introduce, and say that this is the last, you've got maybe a few hours to go. I'm going to get up at 6 or 7 tomorrow morning And I'm going to take down the old pricing and put up the old, take down this pricing, put up the old pricing. Then I'm working out a, get my head back here. I am working out a marketing program with a prominent YouTuber, and you may see that. And once I do that, I'm changing all the pricing to the new pricing, which is going to be much higher. And from there, on a monthly basis, we're going to take in 25, 30 people max, and that's what we're going to do to try to sustain things. Because that's what I think that we can absorb comfortably in the room, and that seems to work out well. And I'd rather have people come in a little at a time and spread it out over the entire year so that you have consistent income coming in. So there you go. Just a few more hours if you want to join and get these low prices and get grandfathered in. But quite frankly, the higher price, the service is so valuable that even at the higher price, it's going to be ridiculously low. The initial price was really meant to just get some people in, get the service going, get all the processes down, and we've done that. We've established a good record, and now we're ready to go. We're ready to roll. How much did I put into the trade? I think it was 20,000 units. No, 200,000? Oh, let me see. Hold on. I'll show you. It's a 20K position. Yeah, 20,000 units. All right. Now, I have to say goodbye. And it's been a wonderful first day of the year. I hope everyone has a happy new year. First trade of the year. Looks like it's going to be a winner. And I'm sure that we'll get many other winners out of this bunch. We'll see what happens. All right, everybody, good night. And good luck to you. Bye.